Hello everyone, this is Dokun Park from University of Texas at Arlington. In this talk, I will introduce our ongoing work on modeling social interaction for baby in simulated environment for developmental robotics. We call this environment SEDRo. Without further ado, let me start with some demo of SEDRo. In this video, you can see there are a mother and a baby in a 3D home-like environment. Here the baby is the learning agent. The mother character is programmed to take care of the baby agent by feeding milk and playing with toys. While taking care of the baby, the mother also speaks words like milk or bear. You can see in the Python interface that the baby is acquiring the visual signals and textual description. SEDRo is an environment to build and test a computational model that can learn from experience like a human child does. So that was 1-minute crash introduction of the SEDRo. However, there have been many simulated environments for AI research already. So in the rest of this talk, I'll explain why an environment like SEDRo is required. SEDRo is different from other environments in the sense that first, it does not have any target tasks and explicit rewards. Second, the learning agent is provided a humanoid body and the agent goes through what human baby will experience. Third, SEDRo provides longitudinal development from fetus to first 12 months of the human baby. So, in the rest of the talk, I'll try to explain the rationale behind these features. First, why giving rewards are considered harmful. Probably the most naive answers will be that we didn't learn the language that way. We didn't get a treat when we say a correct sentence. But this does not necessarily mean that AI agents cannot learn language with explicit rewards. Actually, there are a few researches where a limited vocabulary is acquired using reinforcement learning methods. Here the agent is trained to follow verbal instructions like go to green short pillar. Then it can actually follow text verbal messages like go to blue tall villa even though it never heard such combination in training. Other researchers have used a similar approach to do navigation and embodied question and answering tasks. While these approaches were successful in achieving target tasks, the key problem is that we don't know how we can transfer the language skills learned in the target task to other domains. In this sense, we can say the value function is overfitted to specific application because we gave an explicit reward for target tasks. But this does not necessarily mean that using explicit reward is the reason that we cannot transfer other domains. Therefore, we might need more theoretical reason why explicit reward is not enough. I'll try to explain my hypothesis about why language cannot be learned with explicit rewards. Before we proceed further, let's define a few basic terms like intelligence or human-level intelligence as a common ground for this talk. Shane Legg, who co-founded BabyMind, surveyed more than 70 definitions for intelligence and created one more definition. According to them, intelligence measures an agent's ability to achieve goals in a wide range of the environment. This definition is nice because it is universal, meaning it can be applied to machines, computer programs, or even earthworms. An earthworm has light receptors and vibration sensors. Using those sensors, it tries to avoid the sun or moon. In this case, the goal is the survival and the reproduction. We can generalize this structure as Markov decision process framework. In this framework, you get sensory input and decide reasonable action in control system. In the case of earthworm, the individual agent does not learn anything. The control system is updated by evolution. So we can call this as level 1 intelligence. The level 1 intelligent agent does not learn any individual. It relies on evolution to update the control system. The problem with the level 1 intelligence is that it is very slow to update the control system. So the nature found the solution. We can use a reward system, which is the proxy function for measuring how the current sensory input is favorable for achieving goals. Using this signal as a guide, the agent can learn individually. We call this level 2 intelligence. Level 2 intelligence can adapt much quickly than level 1 intelligence. Level 2 intelligence learns new rules from its own experience. Many animals, such as rat or dog, belong here. However, the problem of level 2 intelligence is that there is a limitation for what you can learn from direct experience. Let's say a rabbit has never seen tiger before. When it sees tiger for the first time, it might not know what to do between two possible actions, which is approach or running away. If it chose to approach by random exploration, as a reinforcement learning agent usually does, unless it will be too late to update the value function for the poor rabbit. The big problem is that this experience cannot be transferred to other rabbits because acquired information cannot be inherited. Level 3 intelligence overcomes this limitation by learning from others' experience or indirect experience. We use language to do this. So far, humans are the only species that can do this. Therefore, we can call level 3 intelligence as human level intelligence. However, it is not clear what learning with language means. For example, certain animals such as dolphins or monkeys are known to use language to communicate. Also, there are voice assistants such as Siri or Alexa that can communicate with us. We have already seen in this talk that some agents learn to navigate or answer questions using language. GPT-3 is popular now and it can write well, and many models can do multiple tasks in language. Does that mean those animals or models have level 3 intelligence? What does it mean to learn from language? Let me explain with a concrete example. Let's say that you have never seen or tasted cola before. Now you see this black sparkling liquid and you drank it and it felt good. This is the learning from direct experience. With this experience, your value function for drinking action for the state when you see black sparkling water will be increased. Now, you should be able to update the value function when you hear the situation in the verbal description. Someone comes to you and say, cola is a black sparkling drink. I drank it and it tasted good. These two experiences, where one is direct experience and the other is indirect experience with language, should bring similar changes in terms of state, action, and reward. It means that seeing something in vision and hearing something in description should lead to similar state. You cannot use explicit rewards for this association. As you saw before, the reward is related to it tastes good part. The agent should learn this association without explicit rewards. Therefore, we conjecture the learning with explicit reward can get you to the level 2, but to achieve level 3 intelligence, you should be able to learn from indirect experience. So far, we explained why explicit reward is considered harmful for human-level intelligence. Now, let's look at why we use human-like experience. Actually, there have been many researches that basically say we should look beyond extrinsic rewards and use intrinsic rewards or motivation. Intrinsic rewards are also called curiosity. Self-supervised learning is also used in similar context. And here, you can see some previous works for intrinsic motivation or self-supervised learning. It has been effective in encouraging exploration. However, those environments is black or abstract or simple. It might be helpful to see a certain technique is useful or not. However, the problem with these abstract environments are that they can lead to partial solution. Let's say we need a certain set of components for human-level AI. Because the previous environments are simple, we can find a subset of components that can solve the problem. This leads to the many researches that present a necessary set of components, but it is difficult to test what is sufficient set of components for human-level AI. In SEDRo, we use human-like experience that we can test many tests such as visual, sensory motor, social, and language in a human baby. Another benefit of using human experience is that we can interpret the result by comparing it with human baby. It can be challenging to monitor the progress of the development if the environment is abstract. But there are many developmental psychologists who studied how human baby develop in various skills. We can replicate those experiments in the simulation and interpret the result by comparing with the human part. This video shows one test in SEDRo, checking whether the agent has developed unity perception. This experiment replicates the experiments by Slater and Morrison, where they tested newborn and 4 months baby have unity perception. And there are many tests in multiple domains in which can trace the developmental milestones in the non-verbal babies. By using human-like experience, we can use those experiments to test the development of AI agents. Therefore, we think human-like experience is helpful because they require non-partial solution and it is relatively easy to interpret the developmental progress. Finally, let's look at why we need longitudinal development from fetus to 12 months. Let's say, as a newborn baby, you are in the control tower where there are 1000 by 1000 buttons and there are 1000 by 1000 status LED. Your goal is controlling the buttons. To do that, you need to learn what happens if you press some buttons. When you press some buttons, the status LED seems to change, but it is difficult to track it because there are just so many of them. It is believed that humans have solved this challenge by constraint. At first, for example, in the womb, you have limited sensory input and motor behavior. For example, in the fetus, you don't have visual input. Newborn baby has a very nearsighted vision which can see less than 30 centimeters. Gradually over the year, the vision has has the full capability. We believe these lower level skills are essential for higher level skills, such as language acquisitions. Language acquisition requires joint attention skill. Joint attention skill again requires face recognition and eye contact skills. To develop face recognition skill, newborn baby cannot move neck or torso and has very nearsighted where they can focus only on acquiring face recognition skills. Even pointing on the object requires careful schedule for development. James Rowe et al. Studied the constrained schedule for visual fixation and reaching skills. You can see the muscles are gradually developed from eye to neck and then torso. Therefore, we cannot isolate high-level skills and learn it without learning lower-level skills. Another reason why we think longitudinal development is required for human-level intelligence is the organizing principle of the brain. When we see neocortex, there are many regions specializing on specific functions such as motor, sensor, language, and so on. However, when we examine the structure, each functionally different region shows the similar laminar structure of 6 layers. This brings to the hypothesis that there is a universal module in the brain, and the functional difference is determined by how each universal module is connected. Therefore, if a module is connected to language-related pathways such as auditory, vocal tract, and context, it will function as language area. Similarly, if other module is connected to motor-related pathways, it will function as motor cortex. This hypothesis is suggested by Mountcastle. According to it, we will need 2 structures. One is the universal modules. The other is how this universal module is connected hierarchically to do multiple things. We believe longitudinal development is required to study these 2 areas. For example, if we develop a computational module that shows motor babbling, and we can use this module structure to do other tasks such as vision and language by connecting it different ways, we can examine this hypothesis. Therefore, longitudinal development is required because we need staged constraint to allow bootstrapping, and higher level tasks such as language requires skills in lower levels. As a conclusion, here is the takeaway message. We are developing a simulated environment for human-level intelligence. It has 3 features. First, it is open-ended. Second, it provides a human-like experience. Finally, the learning agent can experience from fetus to first 12 months. We hope this environment can provide a complementary approach to the existing environments. This is the work with my students Aishwarya, Rubel, Majraul, Sanas. You can check out the project at the following website. Thank you.